Hey there, internet friends. Larry the Music Guy here. Today, I'm going to talk a little bit about, going to go through an upgrade on a 2019 Gibson SG. And it's been the absolute worst guitar I've ever owned for keeping itself in tune. You know, I'm a gigging musician. I bought it. We do a little AC/DC medley, and I mean, you got to use an SG if you're going to play AC/DC, right? So, anyway, bought it. I love the guitar. I mean, it sounds fabulous. It just freaking won't stay in tune. So I'm hoping today's the day we fix that. I ordered some GraphTech Ratio locking tuners. And basically what they are is the gears are ratioed for each one of the string sizes. So in theory, one complete turn will tune the string one step, or excuse me, one half step, so up to the next note. So I'm hoping that that fixes my issues I've been having with tuning. So we're going to document that and start to go guitar done right now. Stick around. Alright guys, first thing we're doing is obviously taking the strings off. I started to remove these stock tuners, have like a little barrel, the nut on the top. So it is a metric 10mm wrench to go on there. So just real cautiously, usually you just get them started and they'll come off pretty easy. So anyway, you can do that, and on the back side there's one screw that's holding it in. I'll show you a shot of that as well. So this is the OEM tuner. I just went ahead and screwed that screw down just to keep them together with each one of the tuners. But it came off fairly easily. There's not a lot of room because of the locking tuner part. This one right here gets in the way at the top there. So just be careful when you unscrew it, you don't strip that screw out. Every time I change strings, it's probably about twice a month, I change the strings on my working guitars that I take out gigging with me. But any of them that have any kind of rosewood or pile faro type dark wood fretboards, I always make sure you lemon oil it up pretty good. Put it on pretty liberally, and then kind of spread it out with your fingers and make sure it's getting all the way over all of them. And you'll see, like, you'll know if they're dry because you'll see it soak up the oil fast. So I'll probably shoot a little bit more there because it's really, and it feels a little rough as well. So this one was really screaming for some lemon oil moisture there. I do run a humidifier in my house, so you know, we're at a good humidity level that they get thirsty. So you got to feed them a little lemon oil, let it soak in. It'll keep that fretboard looking good, won't crack on you. All right, it's time to open these bad boys up, see what's inside. Here we go. So I've taken the display one out, and then you'll flip it on over and where the rest of them reside. We've got looks like a fairly hard paper with instructions on how to get guitar done. I'm gonna read up real quick, gonna learn today, and then we'll go and get guitar done. So this is kind of how the each one of the gear ratios are for each one of the strings. Each one of the tuners are labeled on the back, and this is going to be probably hard to see. Let me see if I can zoom in. You'll see that says number 2. So basically 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. In my case, I'm running the 3+3, where you've got 3 on each side. The fenders would come all in line in the same direction. So they come automatically with these gaskets, basically, that you can put on there. This is my particular one that I need to use. And what you do is you basically screw that little plate down first. And I just reused my gold screws. It seemed like the ones that they had sent with might be just a little bit thinner, and I didn't want them stripping out, so I reused the gold ones. And I guess they do make a gold plate that you can order. I did not see that, but you know, nobody's going to see the back of my neck. It's not that big of a deal. So, and you come up here and you basically screw in that where that one hole is right there. And what that allows that to do is to accommodate those 2 pins there at the top. So you don't have to drill out your guitar at all by doing this. Okay, got all 6 installed, and I did it by hand. You got to just make sure you snug it up just enough. You don't want to strip out, or I have actually broken the heads off if you crank them too tight. So just be cautious. Just make sure that the gasket doesn't move. That's all the tighter it needs to be. All right, while the guitar's still upside down, what I'd recommend is put the tuner in. Let it sit there, and then you're going to take and put the washer on the nut shaft there, and then you're going to come down here and just put it up on it, and all you really need to do is just get it finger tight. So do that with all 6. Just get them finger tight so they're snug and they won't fall off when you turn the guitar over. Okay, I'm just going to take a 10mm wrench and very cautiously turn it just snug enough. Just wanted to point out before I get going on the strings, I have not wiped down the fretboard with the oil that I put on there. You can see how much it absorbed just naturally on its own. So put that on there, let it just soak in and, you know, kind of almost naturally dry on its own. So these are locking tuners, and just to not assume everybody knows what that is, because honestly, when they first came out, I didn't know what they were. I thought they meant that they locked in place. Once you got it tuned, you would just simply lock them down. That is not what it is. There's basically a wheel on the backside of the tuner that you unscrew, and then basically you stick your string through the hole there, and then when you tighten it down, what it does is it locks the string in there. Anyway, just wanted to point that out. These are locking tuners, and that locks the string down. So I'm going to wind this last string up, and we're going to get her tuned up and fired up and ready to go. So real quick, I just wanted to document this regarding my new ratio tuners on my SG. A couple things. First off, it's like 15 below zero right now here in Iowa, so my basement's a little cold. And when I put this guitar on, you could just feel how it's pretty cold. It's actually, I have it right there, and that's an external wall. It goes right outside. Obviously we're in Iowa, we're in a basement, but anyway, it's pretty cold, and I just strummed a chord. Wow, that would have never happened with my old tuners, with the OEM tuners on there. So I've had them now for about I've been playing on them for a couple days, so I put new strings on. I got the strings all stretched out, keeping them clean. And anyway, this is like day 3 now, and listen to that. Pretty darn close. And I'll do a little playing around again here, and it's really staying in tune very well. So I am very pleased with the purchase. I'm not getting paid for this. This is just something that I wanted to update, so it's not a paid promotion. It's just my honest opinion on the product, and so far I'm really impressed. Alright guys, I appreciate you sticking around to the end of the video. This is kind of a shorter one, but just wanted to kind of put some finishing thoughts on the new GraphTech Ratio Tuners, and so far I absolutely love them. It's like, once again, I picked up my guitar just a second ago in tune. That just simply never happened before. Every time I picked it up, it was out of tune. It just didn't matter. It was the worst guitar ever, and I'm hoping that it brings like very passion to want to play this guitar now, instead of every time I pick it up dreading that I'm gonna have to tune it. And that's seriously what it was. So so far so good. Every time I pick up, it's in tune. When I have to tune it, it's super easy. As you're coming up into that middle zone where you want it to be right on, it's a nice smooth pull into it. Where before, on my standard OEM tuners, I'd come up on it, I'd stop, and then it would kind of keep going, and it would go past where I wanted to tune it. Then I had to unwind the string, come back up on it again, and I'd be sitting there on stage doing that. You know, nothing worse than when you've got the crowd rocking, the dance floor's packed, and you got to stop and tune a guitar for 15-20 seconds. Just horrible. So I'm super impressed so far. Time will tell once we get into the summer months and you get the humidity change and the heat and cold of the night, and I'm sure that will be the real test. Every guitar is going to go out of tune, but how easy is it to get it back in tune? And so far, I'm super impressed with these. So once again, not getting paid, just advertisement to say they're pretty darn good, guys. If you like them, go check them out on Reverb. I got a link down below on Reverb. If you guys go there and buy something, then I get a little spiff for it, so helps me out with my channel. I appreciate that. Thanks for everybody watching, and please subscribe and like and all that fun stuff, and hopefully I'll see you around again. And in the meantime, get on out there and guitar done.